Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Next Gen Bets podcast.
Tell me you moving on and you don't love me no more. Today's lyric is directed at Juan Soto.
Right to him.
Right to him. Don't love us no more.
No, he does not. He moved on from us. I'm in pain. Kyle's not as in as much pain as me. He's just upset about it. He's angry about it. I'm upset about
I'm,
it.
I'm bothered by it, but I'm happy that I'm not spending $800 million on a dude with like a negative 11 DRS. So, but we
Yeah.
don't we don't gotta get into that. I got a lot, but we don't gotta get there.
Yeah. All right. So now, what we actually are here to do is to recap our week 14 slate. We had a large slate for you guys. Unfortunately, if you follow the Twitter, it did not go how we wanted it to go. It was it wasn't a rough week, but it was the first week on the podcast that we were not positive, which makes it a rough week for us. We finished 5 for 12, which is a 41.6% hit percentage. Um, so we're just gonna go on through those bets. We're gonna talk about the games. We're gonna do all that, and then we'll recalibrate.
So we finished down 0.78 of a unit. So not quite a full unit, which is still good. So I think we were plus 3.45 units last week. So still way positive. Like Connor said, we were 5 for 12, but we were 0 for 4 on the specialty bets we made this week that we tried putting extra effort in for you guys to try to like I think we would have rather went 4 for 12 and only hit these ones well,
Definitely.
maybe not because that would have meant we lost more money, but we wanted to hit these ones and we ended up hitting none of them. So,
Yeah, that's
uh,
what hurts the most. I
yeah,
wanted to
it,
at
it
least hit
hurts.
one of those.
Yeah, like we didn't lose a ton of money, but it hurts because we put a lot of effort in. I think we did.
No, I think so too.
Yeah,
Those were like that was the first time we
I
implemented
really
that.
wanted
It
those
was
ones.
exciting. You wanted those ones to hit the most because that's kind
Yeah,
of like they're the weekly specials. Those are the ones that you're like, hey, like these are the ones. Like if you guys are following along, you're more likely to listen to those 4 bets over the rest of the 12 bets. Um, so those ones are the ones that matter the most. But unfortunately, we hit none of them.
that's part.
But if you're being optimistic, that means we're bound to have a better week, hopefully, in the coming weeks. Hopefully it's this week, but we're guaranteed a better week because like if you go over 4 on
Yeah,
those,
it can't be
then we got
worse.
an issue, you know? So we'll
Can't
we'll
be worse
we'll
than
move
over
on.
four.
But yeah, so the first game we're gonna talk about, or the first bet, I should say, is it was our Detroit minus 3.5 bet. Starting with the loss, that was our first loss. Um, that was a Thursday game. And we lost it by half a point, and that's just the worst feeling in the world is losing a game by half a point.
Yeah, this one I think was mainly the frustrating part of this is these games are late and I like to go to bed early. So if I'm staying up till 11 when I want to go to bed at like 9:30, 10, get my nice 8 hours before work in the morning, and I don't get my nice sleep and my bet loses, then I'm just even more upset on what's supposed to be a good Friday. You're supposed to enjoy Friday, the end of the week. I'm mad because I lost my bet and I didn't get my sleep. So, and I think we were filming the video talking about these bets for you guys during the first half. And the first half was the half that Detroit was doing good. So it felt like as soon as I started paying attention to this game, our bet just got screwed.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think when we were recording the like episode 4, that
Yeah.
it was up by 10, I believe,
I
during
think it
that.
was like 17-7, I want to say.
Yeah, it was like 17-7 or something like that. And so we were recording it, not really paying attention to it, but I was like glancing over and at it, and I'm like, okay, like we're doing good. It's awesome. And then after it ended, that's when I started paying attention to the game and
And it
it
went
just
down,
south.
went
It went
downhill.
south. So it was a painful loss. You don't want to start it like that. It sucked because that was the Thursday bet, and so then you gotta sit with the loss until Sunday. And then you
Yeah.
hope for Sunday to be a better day. And it just so happened. I mean, technically, um, if I'm not being dumb, like I think technically we profited on Sunday.
Yeah, because we were down less than 1 unit and we were down 1 unit on Thursday. So,
Yeah, so I guess
oh no,
technically
Sunday
Sunday
we
was better.
didn't because Monday got us back.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, no, we didn't profit on Sunday.
So
Monday we did.
we're starting the week off hot because we got Monday right.
Exactly. So
So,
It's all about perspective. It's about how you look at it. So we're trying to look at it in an optimistic light. So that's what we're doing here. But yeah, Detroit lost, or no, they won, but they lost for
They
us.
won, they lost. They could have covered the spread. They had basically the same chance the Bengals had, and they decided to kneel and kick a field
Yeah,
goal.
they went for the win
Cincinnati,
instead
Cincinnati
of
was like,
going for
we'll
points.
score on a touchdown. We got everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And you just wait till we get to the Bengals game because I personally just that just makes my heart warm because I love the Bengals this week. That's all I got to say about that. But we'll move on into the Miami game, which is Kyle's favorite game of the week every week. Um, he talked about it. He said it was a big game going into it
Was
because it could knock the Jets out of the playoffs, which
And
is
it did. The
and it
Dolphins
did.
win.
It did
It's a
exactly
I'm
that.
like Jameis. It's a win right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't eat it like Jameis would. That'd be a
Uh,
little bit more. Yeah, exactly. That's what we need on the pod. All right.
yeah.
So Miami got the win for Kyle, but they did not cover for
Sketchy,
us.
man.
It
So
was a
we had
sketchy
six and a
game.
half. We
Mhm.
bought a point. The stats were Tua went over 6.5 point favorite. He's really good. I think it's like 12-3 or something stupid. And he's never lost to the Jets. And he still hasn't. It was close, but he still hasn't lost to the Jets. Dolphins win by 6, walk off, overtime, touchdown. Really good overall game. It's a shame that these teams aren't what they were supposed to be. But like this was the game we thought they would play, like coming into the season, like this close. It's just the records aren't where we thought they were for these teams. But the game was really good because I, of course, watched all of it as a Dolphins fan. The line was 6.5, like I said. It moved to 5.5. So if we got it on close, we would have won. But we bought a point to be at even money instead of your standard -110 or -115, whatever it closed at. But I know it did close at 5.5. So if you had Dolphins by 5.5, you would have covered the spread. We again 1 point difference and we don't cover. But the Dolphins win in overtime, and I know a lot of people are very happy that Jonnu Smith got that garbage or not garbage time, but end of the game. He had no catches regulation, 3 catches for like 47 yards and a touchdown in overtime. So a lot of fantasy implications with that because he was one of the big waiver pickups for tight ends last couple weeks in fantasy.
Yep.
Big swing there at the end. Go from
Exactly.
0 to like 13 points in fantasy.
Yeah, and fantasy's big this time of year. We'll probably get into
Uh,
that too, honestly, because
We're
fantasy
both
matters
playoff
right
teams
now.
here. We're playoff fantasy managers in our
You're
fantasy.
listening to two fantasy playoff or two playoff managers that are or fantasy managers that are going to see the playoffs. And
Yes.
it's the good side of the playoffs. It's not the losers bracket. Trust us. We're fighting for a championship right now.
All
Um,
right. So let's get to our first win. And we were talking about this a little bit before. This one should have been our lock of the week if we thought a little harder about it. We had Minnesota -5.5, and this one was pretty casual. They kind of destroyed the Falcons. It was close for a little bit. Falcons had a 2 point to tie the game after field goals before to get the 13. It was 13-21, and they made it 21-21. And then you blinked, and it was 42-21, and I didn't have to watch it anymore. So shout
yeah,
out Sam Darnold, 5 passing touchdowns. He's actually, uh, I think he's third, I want to say, in passer rating this season because I was checking to see where my boy Tua is. Tua's fifth, and Sam Darnold is third. So Jets probably wish they had him instead of Rodgers, but they don't because they're stupid. So I don't think we really need to get into this game much. It was a nice cover for us.
yeah. No, I mean it was just a blowout. It was good. It was a relief for us, and then we were able to move on, focus on other games. Another game we were focusing on was the New York Giants. We had them at plus 4.5, and that's our second win of the day. That too
Yes.
hit.
We had 3 bets in this one. So
We
this
did.
one,
This was a
like as
stacked
hard
game.
of a game, this game was hard to watch. I tweeted about how hard it was to watch, but I had to because I got bets to watch. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
Giants cover 14-11. Saints win. That's the final. So we had Giants +4.5. That covers. That was breaking the streak of Giants not covering at home and continuing the streak of betting against the spread for Derek Carr when he's a road favorite. So he's not. He's kind of similar to Kirk Cousins, or indoor quarterback. So on the road they tend to struggle. So similar trend there. Giants scared me. They scored their only touchdown to cut the lead from 14-3 to 14-9, and they decided to go by two. Um, Drew Lock drops back to pass, throws it to, I want to say, Wandale Robinson, or it might have been Neighbors. but either way, it got tipped, and then Neighbors caught it. It was kind of like the Tyreek touchdown on Thanksgiving, where the ball was thrown to Jonnu, and then Tyreek caught it for a TD. So this was like the same thing, and I was like, oh my god, they got it. That gives us the spread. I would have been so mad if we lost 3 games by a point, but instead we're gonna lose 2 games by a point. We like if they just kicked the extra point, would have been fine. And they had the chance to send it to overtime, which would have made me lose it if that was to cover a spread and they got a 35-yarder blocked or whatever stupid field. It was like basically the opposite of the Chiefs devil magic they used. They had the devil magic working against the Giants for that. And then moving on to the team total rush yards, we had the Saints team total rush yards. That was our lock of the week. We put a full unit on that one. We put a half unit on the Giants team total rush yard because I think I found a little discrepancy in what the book odds were. But of course, the half unit hits and the full unit catches a nice fat L. So nothing doing there. The Saints they had the carries, I think. Giants defense did a good job like late in the game where you think they can get like, like 50 or 40 garbage rushing yards in like a chew to clock drive. And there's so much punting and no good offense in this game. Like even the points these teams scored, it was never like somebody was in rhythm and back to back good drives. It was just three and out, three and out. Oh, your drive starts in my territory and I still go three and out. It was just bad. So we missed the play of the lock of the week, and then hit the half unit on the Giants team total rush rate. So just frustrating. That's pretty much our week summed up in one 2 bet span there.
Yeah, but the whole entire this whole recap will sum it all up. It's just frustrating loss after frustrating loss. And then it's the losing the New Orleans team total one being with it being the lock of the week just makes it a little bit more sour than it would have been
Yeah,
otherwise. And then also the fact that we put a whole unit on it, and then the half unit one that's gonna frustrate anybody. Um, so both of those together were rather frustrating, but it is what it is. We'll move on
you
from
were profitable in the game with the Giant spread. So
yeah, we
uh,
were. We had a
went,
on
went
the
two or
game.
three on the game. So
Yeah. Our next bet was that was the player prop of the week, which was Mac Jones under 199 and a half passing yards. Now, if you guys watched the last episode, you guys should be pretty proud of me for saying Mac Jones and not Daniel Jones right there, because I was being kind of a dumbass last time. So that was big for me right there. So I
Daniel
just
Jones went under 199 yards.
yeah. Daniel Jones
Okay.
cooked for us, but
That's what
unfortunately,
you
they didn't
talked
have
about.
that prop. They didn't put those props up. I don't know why. But Mac Jones, on the other hand, he cooked, and he did not cook for us. He threw well over, not well over, but he threw for over 199 and a half, aka 200 yards. So that's another weekly special that missed, unfortunately. Um, that was my pride and joy. Also, if you guys watched last week, that was the one that I was most excited about. I thought that was good. Thought it was strong. Had a lot of good data to back it up, and it just did not work. So unfortunately, we took the L on that one as well, um, which is currently the trend. It feels like, but there's not much else to say about that. It was a player prop. He threw for more. I think he threw for like 220 something. I think it was. I don't.
Yeah, it was definitely in the 220. I stopped watching it as soon as he
Yeah, as soon as he broke
I
the
cleared it.
200,
That
yeah.
game was so hard to like. If you think the Giants game is hard to watch, that game was hard to watch.
Yeah, in the future we have to like watch out for ourselves and bet on games that are fun to watch and not have bets that like our weekly specials on the games that just can't be watched. Um, the next one was actually a pretty exciting game. That was our plow, which also, if you guys watched last week, is my favorite one. Um,
It's like saying it. I think
just saying plow, the bet itself, it was a good bet in my opinion, but like the plow
it's
part
close.
is what gets me going. Um,
Parlay of the week if you missed
Yeah,
out on
for
this
those of you who
play.
don't know. But it was Jameis Winston. We had him for 40 plus attempts, pass attempts, and then we also had over 44 and a half total points for the game. Jameis Winston did hit his over in pass attempts. He had 41, I think it was, or
I thought it
42.
was more than that.
It might have been more. I stopped looking at 41. But
Okay, that's
anyway,
fair.
he had 41, or he had over 40. Okay, we'll say that. But the over 44 and a half did not hit, unfortunately. we were being typical degen gamblers. I don't want to say degen, but we were being your typical gambler at the end of the game, knowing that Pittsburgh did not have to put any more points up, but we were hoping for some reason that they would still score a touchdown so that they could get the 4 points needed, or it might have been 4 or 5 points needed to cover that over. They did not do that for us, unfortunately. They for some reason showed mercy to their rivals, which I think is bullshit, but it is what it is.
This one actually kind of worked in our favor that we missed the parlay of the week because we did have Pittsburgh -7, and that was a full unit at even money compared to the smaller bet for the parlay. So we did end up hitting that, and it wasn't necessarily casual. So the Steelers ended up getting 27 points, and the Browns had 14. So a touchdown for Cleveland puts them in that 6 point range where they then backdoor the spread. And Saints or the I keep saying the Saints because that's where Jameis used to play. But the Browns get the ball after I think it was it a fumble by the Steelers? Was it
Yeah.
Najee or but they get the ball in Steelers territory. Very first play, Jameis had exactly 40 passing attempts. Throw number 41 picked off. So Steelers get the ball right back. And then when they punt, think, all right, here comes Cleveland with a chance to score. And because if they can just get a field goal and try to do the onside, they'd get us to our points, which is kind of what I was concerned about because we got the attempts. And Kadarius Toney drops the punt. And when I was looking up this box score to verify our Jameis stats, I see that Kadarius Toney was released 8 hours ago. I missed that with all the baseball news that's going on my Twitter, but it's kind of funny and kind of saw it coming there. He dropped one punt, got a taunting penalty on a fair catch, and he had two decent punt returns. But I think I saw of 240 or something receivers on ESPN Fantasy. Kadarius Toney is dead last in fantasy because of that fumble over like 40 guys who just haven't caught a pass all season. So pretty funny there.
The next one that we have to talk about on our list, it goes kind of out of order when it comes to the days, but on the list for us is Cincinnati -6.5.
Let's no, we gotta talk about let's talk Eagles Panthers
Okay, you
and
want to
then
do that?
and
All right, we'll
yeah,
go in order. We'll go in
that was just
order.
bad writing by us, but we'll stick to the another 1 o'clock game. So Eagles Panthers. This is like I said, I wanted to find uh a Leggett bet or a Bryce Young bet, and the Lions just they weren't great. They were tempting because they've been playing really well, and a lot of times these teams that lose a lot, it's good to bet their overs because they have the ball more because their defense sucks, and their defense actually played really well. I think it was Jalen Hurts' lowest passing yards and like since he became a real starter, he only had like 105. I saw that stat pop up, but we had Chuba under 50.5 rush yards, and he killed it. Our theory here was Jordan Brooks was getting more carries, um, and he didn't this week. So I tweeted as this was happening, it's impossible to predict how many touches Chuba Hubbard gets. Like he had his career high, and then he had back-to-back season lows, and then he goes off again. So against a really good rush defense that just shut down Derrick Henry. So um, that's just the way sports betting goes, you know. But it was a half unit, and it wasn't one of our specialty plays. So
Although
not
it
the
was a
play.
potential specialty play, that was our other option. We were looking at that one and Mac Jones.
Yes,
So both of
we
our options flopped, but we
we should have had Jameis attempts as a player prop.
yeah, yeah, that would have been a good. But we were even iffy about that, honestly.
Yeah,
But we decided to
that
send
was
it.
an alt line that we took though,
Yeah,
the
we took
40.
the outline, yeah, to juice the parlay a little bit.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we missed on the Chuba. Unfortunately, he destroyed it. But shout out to him for having a good game. And then
He had like 50, he had like
to help you
exactly
out. Did you have
9
him
for the
playing in fantasy?
I know I benched him
Oh,
because of
so it
his
didn't even
injury
help him
weeks.
out in fantasy. So,
No.
but hey,
He's going to
at
be a
least you
real
know
tough
he follows
decision
his
for next
bet.
week.
We mean business with these bets because he benched him in
Well,
fantasy.
we're gonna talk about that because I have like four or was it four or five? We talked about it a little bit, like playable running backs, and I have
Yeah,
three slots available. So we'll ask you guys and see what you guys say.
yep.
But getting back to our Sunday evening bet, this was our last special that, of course, did not hit. We had Ray Davis anytime touchdown. This one was only like a not even a quarter of a unit bet because we got it at plus 460. So it's under a quarter of a unit to get a full unit if it hit. So, you know, you expect to lose a plus 460. But I think twice they had Ray Davis shove Josh Allen's butt into the end zone on the Bills version of a tush push. It's like once we can't just snap the ball and hand it off to our running back, just like as a thank you for getting us here. And 'cause Josh Allen had a crazy game. He had like 50 fantasy points.
Yeah,
And
he
then
had 50
even
something.
worse, they do put their backup running back in. But just the wrong backup running back. You had I don't know if it was a screen or just a broken play, but Ty Johnson 50-yard passing reception touchdown. Uh, and that's supposed to be the Ray Davis role. We didn't anticipate Ty Johnson stealing his touchdown. James Cook had a really bad game, which should indicate Ray Davis has a good game, but Ty Johnson stole it. He stole our thunder here.
Yeah, makes it rather frustrating, unfortunately.
Yeah, like we would it would have sucked if we still went 1 for 3 on these four special bets. But if we hit the high odds one, then it's like that we'd feel pretty good about it, you know?
Yeah,
We hit
you're
a nice
feeling
plus
juiced if you hit
460.
the plus 460 and you miss the other three, like you're feeling pretty good about that. But fortunately, we didn't hit any of them, unfortunately. But
Would have flipped our week, you know?
it would have. But I will say personally, the Cincinnati game did flip my week. Like I think
It,
that game was perfect to have on Monday. It made me feel great. We got Cincinnati at -6.5 in that game, but we bought points. We bought
it
a
was
singular
positive,
point.
yeah.
So we got it at plus money at plus 106 because the spread was -5.5 when we were doing it. And
I'm
so
not gonna lie. I was watching that knowing the spread was 5.5. I didn't realize that even when we were looking at this earlier. I thought I had 5.5 the whole time.
oh
That's
really?
great.
No, I knew we got 6.5. I knew we
I,
needed
I remember it now, but like all of yesterday, I was like, just need them to win. Like they went up like 4. I was like, just what, 2 more, like kick a field goal,
yeah.
get up 5.5. I thought it was 5.5 the whole time. That's
Yeah,
great.
no. So we got them at -6.5, and they won by 7, which is what we needed, off of that last it was like last minute-ish kind of, it was like just over a minute left, I believe.
Like
It was
120, I
that
think.
it was a great throw to Jamar Chase where he made the insane move. I'm sure you guys seen the Simpson clip of it because that's what's floating all over my Twitter for some reason.
Thing, apparently. Didn't
Um
know that was a thing.
yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either. And then I'm seeing a clip of it and I'm like, this is weird. But anyways, Jamar Chase had a great touchdown, which got Joe Burrow his third passing touchdown of the game, which I'll get back to in a second. And then it made it so that the Bengals were able to win by 7, which covered the spread for us. That gives us a free unit win, which is great. We wanted that. Um,
And it sent Micah Parsons on a little temper tantrum, which was
oh yeah,
funny to
he
watch.
didn't even shake
But
hands, which I thought was
it
bullshit.
was it's not like he was mad at the Bengals. So
No, I know
uh
he was mad at the team.
credit him. I mean, he was mad at their special teams for botching the punt there. And
Yeah,
it's understandably because the defense did really good against Joe Burrow because they really kind of held him to 20. And then the defense, like they should have just been run the ball a couple times, kick a game-winning field goal. But
yeah.
they go play defense and they didn't play defense and
They
lost.
honestly they played good defense the whole second half except for the last when it mattered because
Because
Joe
they would have
Burrow had a
been
really good
and
first half,
seven. Like they
the
wouldn't have been
second
out.
half. What'd you
They
say?
wouldn't have been out of the like they wouldn't have been in, but they'd have been 6 and 7, like in the playoff conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
I'm
it
like
was
not
tough
saying they
luck.
were gonna do anything, but like that gives you a reason to, try as a player compared
Mhm.
to 5-8 and your Dallas and everybody wants to remind you how bad your season is.
Yeah, I mean, it's deserved, I feel like. But anyways, not moving on, but like going back to what I said before about the Joe Burrow thing. So something that I was talking about with Kyle that it didn't make the podcast. It was a bet that didn't make the podcast. But I was telling Kyle I was really interested in the Joe Burrow. There was like on FanDuel, there was a Joe Burrow 3+ passing touchdown prop that I got at 210. And so that was I had that prop. So I had the 3+ passing touchdowns at 210 and I put like half a unit on it. And then I had the Bengals to win by the 6.5 spread, which was also plus money. And we hit both with that touchdown at the very end of the game. Joe Burrow had 2 touchdowns in like the first half. I was like, oh, this is a no sweat. Like this is great. Whole second half, no touchdowns. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like this is actually becoming a sweat.
That's
And
tough.
then at the end of the game, I'm like, we're screwed. Like both of our bets are cooked. Because the Bengals had the ball, they were driving, and the time was running low. So like I'm like, why would they go for a touchdown here? It's kind of like one of those like it has to happen for them to, which it did. It just kind of happened. I don't know. I mean, they weren't not trying to score, but it was a situation where like I think they were just trying to get yards, and he just so happened Jamar Chase just was gone.
He's good. Like he's like that.
Yeah,
Because
he is
I
like
think
that.
so like elite football coach move would be to kneel at like the 10 so you can chew clock and not give him the ball back.
Yeah. But at the
Um,
same time, like that would have been a better move. I'm glad he didn't do that, of course, but that would
yes,
be
me
a
too.
smart move. Um,
Then
but I mean, they lucked out because it's Cooper Rush back there. So,
yeah. And then
and
we were talking about it like while we were prepping for the podcast, talking about these bets. We are like, do we add this? And I'm like, I think we decided no, and then we're like, maybe we should do uh like a late ad afterwards and use it as a way to promote our Twitter and be like, oh, we're adding this bet to our official slate. Make sure you guys, and then like as we were reviewing it and it hits because it did hit, we'd be like, you got to check out our Twitter in case we do stuff like this in the future. And it was a good idea we had, but then we're like, we're down units. We were down like 1.5 units going into that game. So it was like, I don't really want to chase the week just to try to make it positive, even though uh like there's decent odds or good value considering Burrow basically averages 3 touchdowns and you're getting it, plus 210 or whatever, right? You're plus 210, you said you got that.
yeah, I got it at plus 210. Yeah.
But I mean that was early, so maybe it would have dropped closer to game time. But we were gonna do that, but we didn't want to end up chasing. We didn't want to make it seem like we were chasing or be chasing to try to save the week. And if we did, we would have saved the week.
We would have. It saved my week. But I
That's
mean,
good.
I do think that our thought process was pretty valid there when it comes to that. I mean, I had it beforehand. I took the bet when we were talking about it. Kyle didn't take it, and then we talked about like he was talking about how like we'll do like maybe we'll do it late ad, and then
Yeah, I
as
was
he was
interested
saying, it was like
in
it would have been a
yeah.
chase, and we don't want to put that out there that we're sitting here chasing bets because that's not the goal. We don't really promote that. That's not our way of betting. I don't know if we made that clear, but that's kind of the case. We bet and then we have our bets, and you kind of just got to trust the process. Chasing losses never gets you anything, so we didn't want to like push that and be like, hey, chase your loss with this plus 200 bet on top of our plus 106 bet that we already have. So,
Yeah.
um, we hit it, but it's I'm not mad that we didn't talk about it because I'd rather be safe than sorry when it comes to that kind of thing. Um,
But like we went through a lot of frustrating week, but still down less than 1 unit on the week. Like I
yeah,
said, just over 0.75 of a unit. So
yeah, and I
really
think
can't
total
complain too much about it.
that puts us at like plus
Like two
point
two
seven
eighty,
or
something like
2.8,
that.
something like that,
Math.
overall. So
We'll calculate that in the upcoming videos.
yeah, yeah,
We're not,
that'll be like on a thumbnail or
when the
it'll be
season's
somewhere.
ending. We don't want to. You don't want to. You count the week, but you don't want to count everything until the season ends because that's when you have a bad week because you're chasing something or whatever. Just
Yeah,
it's bad of you to count your cards or what's it? Count your chips at the
you don't
table or
count your
something.
chips while you're at the table,
Yeah. But
So
anyway, let's uh let's talk some fantasy football real quick because like we said, we're both some playoff managers, so soft clap for that.
yeah, for sure.
Um, I think we talked about making of the four of us in the playoff. We're gonna add in. You agreed to this, right? Adding a $25 bet.
Yes.
What is Matt? That's missing, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he just didn't see it or if I don't
He's
know.
useless. The
Yeah.
number, dude, the number one seed in our league, guys, is like the second most inactive player,
Yeah.
and
He
so it's
went 10
frustrating.
and 4 too. He went 10 and 4 on the year.
I finessed him in a trade though.
He did. I beat him both times I played him, so I'm happy about that. I feel like I should brag about that. But yeah, he's like 10
So
and 4. He's our best player, but
yeah,
he's most inactive for sure.
he's got Josh Allen. That's the
But
that's
our worst player is actually like one of the more actives player, the one
yeah.
that
We
did
got a
last.
weird league.
So, the league got really weird this year.
Like I
But
think he was projected second, and he finished dead last by a long shot, and he like never missed like a lineup.
yeah, no, it's not like he played like he didn't forget to take out a bye week or
But the dude that won, he'd forget a player on a bye or injury and then still win, and it's so aggravating. But I play him in the playoffs, so I like to think I have a good shot, even though it's the 1 versus 4. But I need your guys' help. So I'm gonna read the players and their projections, and if anybody's listening at this point, please comment what three of these guys you would play. I got Devon A. Chain projected 18.7 points, who I finessed from our number one. I got Chase Brown, it's projected 17.9. I think those two are safe. They've been doing me well. Then I got Chuba Hubbard, it's projected 18 and a half, but he's been very up and down. So I'm I don't know. I just don't have like I didn't play him last week and he went off. I played him the week before and he almost screwed me out of the playoffs. And then going to the three guys on my bench who are all pretty good running backs. I got Isaac Guerendo, who won the waiver claim on him. He's projected 15, but he's questionable, and that's Thursday. So I don't think I'm gonna play him just because I don't like playing guys on Thursday. That kind of like sets up the mood for your Sunday on Thursday. Like you were kind of mad for Sunday because of Amon-Ra on Thursday.
Yeah, I had him on Thursday and he dropped
Yeah,
like I forget, it was like 10. I think he dropped
yeah,
10.
which is bad for Amon-Ra. And then I got Bucky Irving, who I also don't think I'm gonna play because he had a down week. So I think those two are out. But then I got Brian Robinson, who's projected 17. So we got 18.7, 17.9, 18.5, and 17. So of those four, I think I'm sticking based off the projections. But should I play Brian Robinson over Chuba just because Chuba's been more inconsistent? What do you think, Connor?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I would play Chuba personally, but that's
Yeah,
just
you're playing
because
Dallas.
yeah, he's playing Dallas,
Yeah,
so
I think if I was betting and it was who's going to score more fantasy points, I just think Brian Robinson scores
well, who's
more.
Brian Robinson playing?
They play New Orleans, so it's not like no
Mm,
one has. It's not like somebody's playing a tough defense. But
yeah,
Chuba did go off against Philly, so it's I don't know. I will waste a lot of time thinking about something this irrelevant.
yeah, but it's
Watch,
not irrelevant
they'll score
actually
the
because it's
same points
playoff.
though.
It's
Well,
playoff
they'll
time.
score the exact same, and I'll be like, I did all that for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
Or I'll just get screwed by Drake London as my
yeah.
receiver too, and
That's a
then it
better
won't.
issue than me though. Like for example, I on the other hand have no running backs. I have Saquon, so you're probably like shut the fuck up when you say you don't have running backs, and then the first name you drop is Saquon. But after Saquon, I have Nick Chubb, who I picked up right when he came back from injury because I was like, oh, like he's probably gonna run the rock, you know? No, I was wrong. Um, and then I also have Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt was good, and then Pacheco's back now, so Kareem Hunt sucks now. And those are the only three running backs I have, and you got to play two of them. So I have
You
Nick
should be
Chubb
able to get
playing,
Pacheco and waiver.
but I'm trying to get Pacheco on
Because
waiver
I decided I had a claim in for him, and then talking to Connor, I decided to pull that claim, and then I realized I have six good running backs, so I
Yeah,
don't need Pacheco. I had a big brain fantasy play. I picked up Quentin Johnson as like in the 1 hour, like when the 4 o'clock games ended before the 8 o'clock game, because the guy that I needed to lose to make the playoffs had Lad McConkey in his lineup, who got ruled out, and he ended up not seeing it. But in case he saw it and wanted to swap him out for the replacement, I decided to pick up Quentin Johnson. So I thought I was doing something there, but it
yeah.
ended up didn't matter because he didn't notice. But that
Yeah. And you
helped us
lost.
out. Otherwise, helped Connor because he would have been the 4 if not for that.
Yeah, I
He
would
went
have.
from like 2 in our league the past 3 weeks. He had like a 4 game losing streak to drop out of the playoffs. So
Yeah, he did. He was two. Yeah, it was like 4 weeks ago, and I had like the comeback of the year. I was
yeah,
dead
we
last
both
in
of us
week
did.
six. Yeah, I was in
I had a
last place in
crazy
my league
streak, and
in week
then I had
six.
like the end one.
And then I finished the season tied for second, but I'm the third seed because of points. So
Yeah, and it's not like you got Saquon, but your issue is that you're facing Bijan, Josh Jacobs, and Montgomery. So it's
yeah,
more of what your opponent has.
yeah. I'm currently projected way less than my opponent. My opponent's projected like 130 something, and I'm projected like 110, 111, I think. So got an uphill battle. But if I get a running back, maybe I'll move that up to like 120, and it'll be a closer battle. We'll see.
And then um, I think that's really all we got for fantasy. We're excited for playoffs. We'll update you guys on. We could end up being the championship here, us versus each other. That'd be
Yeah,
great
and
for
then
the
and then
podcast.
if that happens, we'll probably find a way to include you guys in that experience. I don't know how much we could, but
Hopefully.
we'll definitely
Um,
talk about it.
and we got big CFP stuff coming up. So make sure you guys stay tuned to what we're doing for that. I got a quick announcement. So I know the game's in 2 weeks, but as everybody with a job knows, you got to give some advancement when you'd like a day off. Texted my boss today, made sure that I have that Saturday, the 21st off. Typically, I work from like 5 to midnight at the bar. Clemson game's on at 4. I told him I can either not come in at all or I can come in after 8 if that helps you guys out. And they said, you're good. You can just take the day off and watch football because they know what I was asking about. Um, uh, so I'm very happy. I feel like that's a true fan move to
Oh,
to
for
take
sure.
off work to watch a game.
For sure. I remember back in 2012 when Notre Dame made it to the national championship when we were playing Alabama. I had a hockey practice like that night, and
Yeah, you skipped it because I
yeah,
went.
my parents made me go to the practice, and I got to the practice, and I was like, I'm sick. I was there for like the
I
first
don't remember
minute.
that
I
part.
didn't get
I
dressed.
knew
I
you
went into the
weren't
locker
there.
room. I didn't get dressed, but I was there. And then I was like, oh, I don't feel good. Like my stomach hurts, all that. And and so basically, sorry for the flashes, but basically, I was like, yeah, like I can't practice. So I went home and I watched Notre Dame get throttled by Alabama. So it was an awesome night.
I
Um,
remember that. I remember you not being there. I did not remember you. I don't know if I saw you at the start. I typically showed up about 5 minutes before we had to go, so I might have
Yeah.
missed you.
So yeah, no,
I was
I
just
got
show and
home a
go.
little early,
So
but yeah, it was good. I was like, I mean, shit, I was probably like,
I'm
I don't know,
surprised your dad
nine,
made you
10.
go in the first place
That's what
because
I'm saying. I thought it was ridiculous. My dad
I
made me go. And then
he cared a
my mom
lot about
told
your
me
hockey though.
he
He cared
didn't
about
go
it some
though.
games.
Like my mom brought me. My dad
Oh,
stayed home
that
to
makes
watch the
more
game.
sense. He
Yeah.
wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, no, he wasn't missing it, but I'm like, I don't want to miss it either. I kind of wish I went to the practice though instead because it wasn't fun to watch. But that's just part of being a Notre Dame fan. You got to learn to get disappointed young. I was like 9 or 10, and it started me off young, and now the last
You
11
you
years since,
gotta do
fine.
stuff like that though. That's I remember 2009 Yankees won the World Series. My dad asked me if I wanted to go to the parade, but I had a perfect attendance going in first grade, and I was like, I can't mess up my perfect first grade attendance. That's very important, and
Yeah,
not a fan of that decision.
yeah, no, he regrets it now, of course, but it's all right. It's all right.
My college attendance is like 50%, so
Yeah, see, you know what? That
but
was my
first
high
grade I
school
was good.
attendance. I'm a little bit better in college, but
First grade I was good.
yeah, that's how I was. I was good in first grade, started up high, and then I went down in middle school and high school, and then now I'm in college. It's like I'm like, I guess I'll go, but
I'm on like a steady downslope from
yeah,
first. We peaked in
mine's
first
like a
grade.
upside down bell curve.
I
So
think my life might have peaked when the Yankees won the World Series, like just everything. And it's
yeah,
just mostly parents get divorced, crash cars now. It just keeps getting.
yeah, it just goes down from there. It is
Uh,
what it is. But but yeah, that's the news. That's the most exciting thing. You know, he took the day off, so expect some of that. We're obviously going to talk a lot more about the college football playoff as we roll into it a little bit more. I'm going to be at the Army Navy game this weekend, so that's pretty sick. Um, I'll be there. I don't know if anything will come out of it. I'm not saying I'm going to do anything special while I'm there, but that's where I'm going to be this weekend. Maybe I'll take a picture and I'll put it on Twitter for you guys. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't have any. Do you have any closing thoughts, Kyle?
um, no, I think it just we had a good like, but the two of us of attending college football games, we had a pretty good year, and just overall in sports. We went
Yeah.
to some baseball games. I went to Ohio State, Penn State. You're going to Army, Navy. You went to Notre Dame, Army at Yankee Stadium. So
Went to Tennessee, Alabama.
yes, yep,
I went
you
to a
got
lot of Tennessee
fingers
games,
there.
but I was at that one specifically,
Yeah.
which was amazing. Storm the field, that was awesome. Yeah,
Right.
no, it's been a good year. And then I'm sure we'll probably go to some hockey games, and then once baseball starts back up in the spring, we'll go to those. So yeah, we always go to the sports games, and then as you get older,
I
it's
owe I owe Ben a Syracuse basketball game. I told him if Clemson makes the playoffs because Cuse beat Miami, I'll take him to a Syracuse basketball game. So I gotta own that.
I'll tag along with that. That sounds like something that could be fun.
Dude, I said we should have went to that game, the Cuse game, Cuse
Yeah, no, I
Miami.
wanted to. I wanted to. It would have been fun, especially now, hindsight. It would have been amazing to go to, but couldn't make it.
That's all we got for today.
But yeah,
So
so you guys have a
more,
good
more
one.
to come from us. So stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned and we'll catch you guys next time, all right?